Hello, everybody. It's finally here. Episode 1, Truth Worth Trillions podcast. I am Jerome Leaks, the show host, with my co-host, Mr. Mac 80. Mac 80, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to our new fans that we have out there in the social media world?
Well, he just introduced me. Mac 80.
That's it? That's it? Mr. Mac 80 is it? Okay. Well, first and foremost, we want to thank 3C Studios for hosting us. Before we get started, I just wanted to send my heartfelt condolences to a classmate of mine who passed away, Miss Jan Haynes, and also Mr. Charlie Collins, best friend of mine's father who passed away, and to our grandmother. We are cousins, by the way, so our grandmother passed away last month, so just to send our condolences to the families of those individuals who passed away. Mac, you want to add anything?
Yeah, my condolences as well to the family members, to the kids, grandkids, parents, and anybody else affected.
Okay, so we'll jump right into it. This podcast was created by myself and Mr. Mac 80 here. Just a short while ago, we reconnected. Like I said, we are cousins. We grew up together from way back when, and we have good chemistry together. So we decided, you know what? He actually said it. Like, we should do a podcast. So here we are, doing the first podcast. We did a pilot the other day to where you guys could just kind of see a little bit about how we interact. We really are just doing this for the first time. So I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know why, because I usually like to do a whole lot of talking, but just a little bit nervous. So bear with us as we, get through the challenges of being nervous and bring y'all what y'all want to hear. So for the most part, we're gonna just go into just a general topic today, just in reference to coachable children, and the generation as far as the differences between Generation X versus Generation Z. But for the most part, we want to talk about coachable children and just how that relates to and translates to the parenting of those children. So Matt, you want to put your 2 cents in on that?
Are you going to say X and Z every show we have?
Well, I mean, I say Generation X and Z simply because that puts a distinction between, the children that were raised in this era and that one. So like before and after. So that's the reason I say X and Z. Well, yeah. Is it Y? Is it X and Y, X and Z? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Coachable children.
Go ahead.
That's where we at though. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, it's up to the parents, man. It's, the kids didn't have a say so as far, nobody said pick me. The kids were put here. So in my humble opinion, I think it's up to the parents.
Agreed.
To make things a coachable situation. I mean, you can't just. I mean, we got. When kids learn how to ride on a bicycle with those training wheels, and then eventually they get it. Now, once they get it, I think they can be held responsible to ride their bike. But I think it was the parents or the teacher's job to teach them how to ride with those training wheels.
Correct.
So,
So I feel you. I understand. So the parents are responsible for making sure that those kids have the tools that they need to get started on that path of riding the bike without the training wheels.
Absolutely.
Good analogy. And you're right. I do feel like the parents are the first teachers of children as far as making sure that they are in a position to learn, to teach them, and to be coachable. One of the things that I'm noticing that has taken a spike is the fans or the parents or sometimes these children are out in the stands behaving in a way that's not very, I would say, not very conducive to the child's growth. I mean, if you have a parent that's misbehaving or acting a certain way, then the children seek that, and the children kind of respond or behave the same way, or they think that it's okay.
Can you elaborate?
Well, I mean, there was a situation that I personally had when I was at. I knew you're calling me out, but it's cool. I'm gonna share my story. I'm gonna share my story.
I think the people want to hear
it. Okay, well, here you go. You want to hear? Here you go. No, there was a time where my daughter Sydney played softball, travel softball, and an unruly fan wanted to make my wife stand up because they came to the game late. And, it's just one of those things where, if you're not used to being in an environment where you know the routine, you can't make somebody stand up because you got to the game late. So, the guy kind of gave me a hard time, and I tried to walk away, but there was nothing physical happened, but it was just the idea of that. That everybody wants to come and cheer the kids on, but you have to be smart enough to walk away from a situation like that at a game, because all of those kids are watching you. I mean, you have your daughter. I have my daughter watching me. I had her friends watching me. You have the coaches watching. So, you do have an obligation to know what, when, and how to behave. But I just think it's a bad example for parents to go to these games and then to get into it with the umpire, get into it with the referee, all those types of things, because your kids are watching. If you act that way and behave that way, not just in sports, but in life as general, you have to be able to make better choices and good decisions, so you don't put yourself in a position to have those types of encounters.
So let me ask you this, because I swear to God, first of all, this is to the audience. I've never heard this story before, so this is totally unrehearsed.
So you haven't heard about the fans?
No. I haven't heard about your encounter that you just alluded to.
Yeah,
so
sure.
What I want to ask you is, so how did you handle that situation so that it didn't get out of hand, so that you didn't set the bad example for your kids?
I kind of did like this, and he seen my guns, and he said, "Nah, Ben, nah, I'm just kidding." Actually, what happened was it was a separation. I mean, we had words, we exchanged words, and the coach's wife actually, and my wife at the time, pulled me away from the gentleman, and I kind of, I just kind of kept my distance and stayed away from him. But some situations don't always end that way. I mean, sometimes it goes a little bit further, and it's unfortunate because once your kids see that, or once children see that, then they it's just not a good look. You don't want to be out in an environment where you have to then be around these people again, and either you're banned and you can't go.
Now, were you held back, or can you honestly admit that you held yourself back in order to set some example for your kids? Well, I want to defend you here.
Yeah, sure.
I want to draw the line between the way my cousin chose to set the example for his kids, as opposed to people who set the wrong example. But I need to know now.
Well, I'll tell you, it's like this. My wife is like my handler. She's like my handler, and she saved a lot of people. So originally, my thought was to, what I'm saying, like my frustration came because she was sitting in a spot where she kept score, and she was already there for the whole season. This person was the biological father of a kid, and he'd never been there before. I didn't know who the guy was. So some guy comes to the third game of the day late and tells her that she has to move because he couldn't see.
And was he with his kids?
He was there to see his daughter, but he came with the mom. Mm-hmm. So long story short, I was not having that. You go back and sit. And when I put her chair back, then he kind of had some words. I said, "No, she's not moving. She's gonna sit right there. You should have got her on time." And at that point, he got a little aggressive. So I was like, and then they pulled me away. I didn't want to proceed, but I walked away from the situation, and I'm glad I did, because I didn't really want to hurt the guy. I didn't want to but it's just always best. The physical stuff like that, that's never the answer, because what would have happened? I would have went to have to deal with those people or the police. And my daughter has to now you have to look at how does that affect her? That's what parents have to look at. How is what you're doing affecting your kids? Is your kid gonna get kicked off the team when she goes to the next level, or he goes to the next level? Or are people gonna look at you? Oh, that's them. I remember them. So that's just a bad attachment that you don't want. But you have to put yourself in a position where you make decisions and choices to do what's best for your kids, not your ego, or not your pride, or not, I want to show I'm tough. You got to walk away, because you are only affected, in the long run, you're only affecting them.
I can't remember where it was that I saw. It wasn't any longer than a few months ago, I promise you, 4 to 6 months. But I was watching something on TV where it showed was it volleyball? It was something where the father got enraged because he felt like his son
wasn't in the game,
had got slighted in some form of fashion, and so he ran down there and he like bulldozed the coach.
That's no good.
And I think like the coach either got like a tooth knocked out or something. I knew it was police called, paramedics came on the scene. He needed medical attention.
Well, you know what that's from? Honestly, you know what that's from? That parent, that parent who did that was an uncoachable child. He was an uncoachable child who grew up in a world or a society that said that's okay. So when you're uncoachable as a child, you become uncoachable as an adult.
Parent, okay.
Exactly. And now you're a grown adult with the possibilities of really harming somebody because you didn't get your way. So to you parents out there, let the coaches do their job. Don't interfere when your coach is telling your kid this and telling your kid that. He's only telling them that to prepare them, because a lot of these coaches out here are basically preparing your child for the world. And you need to have teachable, coachable children so that they don't grow up to feel like everything that they're supposed to do is supposed to benefit them. If you get pulled out of the game because you made a bad play, or you get pulled out of the game because you know, that's a part of it. That's what comes along with sports. And everybody don't get a trophy. If you don't win, you don't get a trophy. Sorry. It teaches them to learn how to deal with not always winning. So you get better, you go back, you practice, you sharpen your craft, and then the next season you get the trophy that you want. The trophy means nothing if everybody get one.
You know, shout out to the guy at the gym this past weekend. I was at the gym thanks to my cousin here, and it was a guy that, you know, he was taking the responsibility of helping his son become improve his health.
Okay.
For lack of a better way of saying, and I don't know. They came in like in the vicinity that I was working out at.
Doing your pull-ups.
Yeah.
You're a master at pull-ups. So by the way, I want to give you a shout out. No, for real though. Shout out to my cousin. He be on the pull-ups. He been doing pull-ups and push-ups since we was kids. So I'm just saying. I'm
having a hard time trying to decipher whether or not he's being facetious.
I'm dead serious. He do. I mean, for real. I'm gonna give you props. I mean, I know everybody don't look like me. You know what I'm saying? But your pull-ups game is your pull-up game is trump tight, bro. For real. Your pull-up game is top notch. I'm
having a hard time getting back on track, but let me find my way back.
My bad. I'm sorry.
And so the guy was helping his. He was admirable. He was there working out with his son. Son looked like he was maybe, I don't know, 14, 15 max, and he was, you know, showing him how to do the pull-ups or whatever they were doing. And you know, I say within about 2 to 3 minutes of that workout, we crossed paths.
You and the son?
No.
Oh, you and the father?
Me and the father.
Okay.
And you know, we looked at each other, whatever. I think one of us, I don't know, maybe it was me.
Gave him a nod.
Nodded, like, how you doing, or whatever. But anyway,
the universal.
When he went to the bathroom and he came back, he was like, you know, you weren't right there. We weren't in your way or anything, were we? And I said, no, not at all, but thank you. But I'm just saying, shout out to the people that set examples.
The consideration.
For their kids.
Right.
Kind of like what you're talking about.
Right.
You know, because so many people are so quick to get wrapped up in confrontations, or the way that they allow themselves to think, when basically what we should be doing is, when we're with our kids.
Right. Set the example.
You want to show your kids how to communicate.
Right.
And violence and being, you know what I'm saying, and angry.
Yeah.
That's not communication.
Right. That's feelings. That's feelings. Yeah. Absolutely right. You're right. You set the example. You know, and that's one thing. You know, you learn a lot from. And we talking about gym. You know, you learn a lot from the gym. You know, you learn that people are, you know, you have considerate people, and you have people who want to help each other. Naturally, I feel like when I go to the gym, I've been going to the gym for a long time, and you know, it's this myth that people who work out are big or mean. Listen, if you ever want to work out, or you ever want some fitness knowledge, when you go to the gym or go to a healthcare store, go to the biggest person you see or the most fit person you see, no matter what they look like. If they got tattoos, bald head, a beard, if they don't, no matter what they look like, go to that person. They will be the nicest person. They will be the nicest, kindest person, and they will tell you whatever you want to know about fitness. So consideration is a must. I do believe that being considerate plays a big part in our society, because a lot of times you just don't.
Every big guy is nice. Is that what you're saying?
Every single big guy is nice. I'm not that big, to tell you the truth. I'm average.
This is starting to get into the field of bias.
I'm not that big, but nice guys. Nice guys. I'm telling you, they are. Nice guys.
We'll take his word, woman.
Yeah, but you know what? I was finna say something, and you made a point. I was just finna, blah, blah, and you know me, my mind just. But I was saying, But yeah, big people are nice. What you got?
Misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
Okay.
No, just nice.
We'll buy that for $1, won't we?
I can still be mean. I mean, I'm a big teddy bear, to tell you the truth. I said this in the last one, but I said it wrong. I'm a big teddy bear. That's it. I'm a big teddy bear. But I'm still a bear. Remember that. I still got teeth.
I will in all seriousness, though. I give my cousin a hard time, but I will in all seriousness say, if you look at his physical stature, he's humongous.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
No, but seriously, I mean, when if we equate size with attitude, I don't think that would be fair, because he is a teddy bear.
Thank you.
I got to give him that. He really is a teddy bear.
Ain't gonna be no cuddling now.
but let's get back into the
sure.
What effect do you think sports have on kids?
Well, sports, sure. Well, sports have a huge impact on kids. I mean, like, in a child's mind,
sports are competitive.
Well, I mean,
boxing, hockey.
Okay. Sports or
sports. I'm just trying to remind you of the competitive nature of sports. So, what effect do you feel as a parent? You are a parent that sports have on kids.
Well, number one, a child when a child gets into sports or plays sports, the effect is humongous, because sports have a way of transitioning you into another world. Okay, you can engulf sports can do so many things for kids. Number one, they can take them out of a bad situation and put them in a better situation, right? I lived in Colorado, and I started playing basketball in a team where I was the only black kid in the school. All right, I mean, I was the only one, and sports allowed me to connect with my peers, because it's universal. There is you don't have to be a certain demographic or color in order to play sports, right? It's like, and the reason I love baseball, let me tell you why. You don't have to be 8 feet tall like basketball. You don't have to be 300 pounds like football. You don't have to be, baseball is a sport that no matter how big, short, or tall, everybody get a fair chance at that plate. You can be my size and strike out, and your size and hit a home run. So baseball is the sport that transitions everybody to make them the same. So
I want to be the I want to be the disclaimer for the show. Everybody is not 8 feet tall. In fact, I don't think anyone's 8 feet tall in basketball. and you don't have to be 300 pounds to be a football player, but
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
y'all get what I'm saying.
I think we do.
So sports has a way of bringing people together. It has a way of teaching. You can put a child in any sport, and you can take that lessons learned in playing sports and transition that to life. You have to be disciplined.
Kind of like music.
Brings
us all together.
It brings us all together. Yeah, yep. You'd be surprised at some of the stuff you found on my playlist. For real. I got country music on my playlist. It's Nelly in there, dude, but that's still country. Florida in the Georgia, baby, young song, you make me roll my windows down and cool.
Yep. Hey, shout out to Nelly and the St. Lunatics. This is the Lou. Make no mistake.
This is the Lou. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get back to what I was saying about the transition to sports. I just kind of feel like sports has a way to teach your kids, discipline. It teaches you the passion, the drive, the desire. It teaches you wins and losses, failures and successes, because you don't always win.
Are there any negative side effects of sports on kids? Could it be? Is there any balance that should be drawn?
I think that I'm going to speak from my experience. I think the only negative experience that sports could have on a child is when the parents at an early age are living vicariously through their kids. They're forcing their kids to do something that they don't want to do. I never in a million years would force my daughter to play softball. She played because she wanted to play. I was there to support her, but when she told me she didn't want to play no more, it took an ex-NFL coach to come to my house and convince her to play 2 more years. Because I told him, I said, hey, I said, she told me she don't want to play no more. She ain't going to be mad at me. She ain't going to be mad at me the rest of her life.
I don't know if it was reality or documentary, but I know I seen something. I didn't see it no more than maybe once, but it was saying something few months back, it was saying something about I think it was gonna be on A&E, kids and their parents when it came to MMA. But you could tell that the way that they advertised it, it was a show that was coming up, and they was just showing how these parents obviously were pushing their children too far
Well,
in the world of MMA.
Think about all of the little girls whose parents put all that all that makeup on them, all that makeup on them.
You all right?
No, you thought I was getting ready to
It was just damn way.
Yeah, I was just gonna say damn, but I'm trying to put my best foot forward.
Okay.
Because once I say one, then they just gonna keep coming. But you know how those moms, there was a show. They put all those makeup on those little girls, and they put. I mean, what does that say? What kind of message is that sending? Like is that what beauty is? To put a pound of makeup on a little 5-year-old and prance her across the stage? That's nothing more than the parents. That's the moms wanting to. I think my opinion is that I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that when that starts to become a competition, I just don't think that's healthy at all for the kids. Like, it sends a message that this is what beauty is, and you grow up dressing and looking and feeling like that's a certain thing. Like, that's the beauty pageant. That's not. I don't agree with that.
Then we should be talking about, how soon is it or how late is it to get our kids involved in that, because I mean, we don't want to turn any viewers off. When it comes to pageantry,
right?
I think it's classic or indicative to put makeup on. I would imagine, but so when is the right age? Because we'll put. Some people may think it's cute to put a little suit on their dog when we know damn well that a suit wasn't made for a dog. A t-shirt wasn't made for a dog, but you get what I'm saying. We don't want to come down on the people that put t-shirts on the dog.
My dogs have suits and t-shirts.
Right, so we don't.
I'm one of those people.
I get what you're saying.
I'm one of those people.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
I get what you're saying.
I guess I have to look at it from the standpoint of, the Bible says that, you can have a drink, just don't get drunk all the time. You understand what I'm saying? So anything in excess is bad. I guess because I work out, so I do watch bodybuilders and stuff like that, and they go on stage, they do this and do
overly doing it, like way too much makeup.
But those are adults. Those are adults who have made their mind up to do that. These are children who you're instilling in them certain values that suggest this is beauty. This is what you should look like. So I kind of just, that's one of those things I just disagree with. There are things that I will support and won't, but I just don't think that. I think that is creating a portal for once that child gets older, as far as her self-esteem and her image of what she's gonna look like and want to look like. It's just kind of like, in our culture, in our society, we see, people, and not just ours, but you see the wigs, the weave, you see the eyelash, the eyebrows, and you see the eyelashes. I seen the girl the other day, man. She had frisbees on her. How she was doing that. How you sing? How you driving? You guys like, damn. And so I guess beauty is in the beholder, but I don't think, man, you ever had no conversation. Say, man, yeah, man, she got them 2-inch, she got them 4-inch eyelashes on. That ain't cute. I don't think it's cute. I'm just saying, but for some people, I guess it might be. Obviously, there's an audience for it because they wear it. They rock it. Indeed.
In defense of my cousin, I think, and what he's trying to say is, we got to be more objective, folks. We can't be projecting what our views are in society, and we definitely can't do it when it comes to our kids who are the future. We have to let people come to objectivity on their own, as opposed to forcing someone to see things a certain way. And so we had initially started off talking about sports and the balance, and parents creating at these sports events, you got parents that are behaving like idiots in the stances, and then the kids witness this. Now, what happens when a kid grows up and now the kid has that same mindset? Where do you think it came from? Or that parent that ran out into the
field or
the field or wherever it was
court.
that I remember,
Yeah.
and bulldozed the coach who and broke his jaw. You understand what I'm saying? Like we gotta come on, man. Level headedness, I guess, is where this all stands at.
Yeah, I think it boils down to just patience and overall engagement, and what you want. You have to. I think as parents, and you were right. We were kind of talking about different things in reference to the effect of sports on kids. What do you think? We'll talk about that in a second. I was looking at something. I was thinking about a comment that somebody had put up, but that's okay. I had something to add anyway. But what do you think? Where do you think our society is headed, or where do you think America in the direction is headed? Just in reference to, I say, just the overall youth, like the overall young people. Like, I cracked about Generation X versus Z, and the only reason that I do that is because I remember growing up as a kid. We didn't have no helmets. When we used to play at grandmama's house, the only thing that we used to talk about when we was at grandmama's house when we go visit, the Raper Man. Remember they used to talk about the Raper Man being down in the alley when we take the trash out. Y'all better get in the house. That Raper Man, that had us terrified of that. You know what I'm saying? But we played up and down the street. We played red light, green light on the front, on the steps. Man, you was talking about I bet y'all don't remember how much a pack of 9-laters cost back in the day, back in the 80s. He did. How much a pack of 9-laters cost with 6 in there, the big ones?
What's the point?
How much was they? How much did 9-laters cost?
11 cents.
11 cents. Back then, me and him used to walk to the penny candy. Go to the penny candy. We used to do those types of things as kids. So, it's like, I don't compare the Generation XZ. I'm just saying we grew up a little bit different. So, I'm just thinking to myself, where is that? Where are we? What direction in society are we moving as far as our young people? I mean, we had the baby boomers, we had us, and now where do you think the young people are today?
I think it comes all the way back. This conversation is becoming even more full circle because, like, nothing has changed in regards. Kids are impressionable. I mean, I remember when I wanted the same jacket that Michael Jackson had in the Beat It video. So it's normal instincts for kids to aspire.
Right.
But I think what you're trying to say, and I agree with wholeheartedly, even if you don't resonate with the general public or the masses. I think we would all agree with the fact that we can't. I think kids nowadays are just being led to be a certain way, and I think back then we aspired.
So you feel like now they're being led versus us having it in our own coming from us.
Yeah, because like when I say with kids of our culture. No. I take that back. White and black.
Okay.
Weren't trying to curl their hair like Michael Jackson in the front with the little Clark Kent
I got you.
curl and everything. I'm saying people.
We ain't got to worry about that no more.
People back then, it was almost like we aspired. We looked up to people.
Right.
But now it's almost like
who do they look up to now?
Now it's like, man, the peer pressure now.
Yeah. Is it because of social media? You think? Or you think it's because of what they have available to them? Do you think it's something the parents have? Do you think the parents have failed them in certain areas in order to guide them where they need to be? Versus, like you said, when we were young, we aspired on our own. Is it social media? Is it too much information? What do you think leads to that? What do you think leads to them moving in that direction?
I mean, why you talking about social media? I think it's the algorithms. I think it's everything. I think everything is it's almost like a force of nature. I don't really know how to put my finger on it. The powers to be. I just know that it's nothing like it used to be, and I empathize with the kids today because this peer pressure was the word we used then. That's like child's play. Peer pressure, that ain't even the word no more. it's beyond peer pressure now. It's almost like
So many different things attacking them all at once.
I'm gonna put it like this. I don't want to take the conversation to a dark place, but I think the suicide rate within the last 5 years had reached with kids had reached an astronomical rate that was so unprecedented that they did a special about it. And I'm saying we, as kids back in the day, we didn't have no pressure to the point where we were killing ourselves.
No, we didn't. Well, I don't know. I don't even think that the only thing I think we
dealt with bullies.
Yeah, I'm running away. That's the darkest thing I wanted to run away.
I'm saying it's to the point now, like it's like kids, man, the pressure that kids are under now, it's not as simple as wearing a beat it jacket trying to look like Michael Jackson or trying to look like any artist that's relevant now. Yeah. It's far beyond that, and so I think we need to all kind of like try to put our fingers on what it is.
I think that for me personally, I was a part of raising 5 daughters, and it terrified me to think about being, having to get a call bands that saying that something happened to one of my girls, because girls ain't like boys. You gotta watch out for girls. You worry about your sons. But your girls is kind of one of those things where, you don't want them to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You don't want them going to certain parties where, bad people going to be. But I just really think that in today's society that we live in, I think it's even more critical and crucial for parents to stay engaged with their kids. I mean, we can talk on and on about the sports and this, that, and the other, but I do believe that the biggest contributing factor to, I believe, more successful transitioning from young people into adulthood is because of their parents being so engaged. And when I say engaged, that doesn't mean give them everything they want or not. It just means know what's going on. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Have the wisdom to know when to step in. Have the knowledge to know about everything that's going on, so that if you know about everything that's going on, when you should step in and when you shouldn't. And I think that's critical. It's not always, you don't punish your kids or take things away from them or just make them feel bad, but you want to be able to address things in a way that they understand it and express it to them and build them back up. Instead of tearing them down. So I kind of feel like that's huge. And I kind of feel like, and you're always going to have the anomaly, like I know people who parents was there, did everything for them, probably did too much for them and put them in a situation, and they still ended up being rotten asses. So I'm saying,
I think I'm ready to make up a term now because I'm inspired by what you just said. When you said that, I think that the biggest component that's missing nowadays is engagement. When you were saying it, I was saying to myself, man, he's so right. Like, I think parents need to be more engaged now, verbally and communicatively, communicable, if that's a word, with their kids than ever before.
Hey, serious, communicable word. Go ahead.
You ask Sirius and she probably pull up a disease, but I'm saying I think we need to communicate and engage more than ever.
Yeah.
Way more than what parents had to do back in the day. I think things were just more understood then. But while you said the word engage, you know what I was thinking about?
What was you thinking about, Matt?
I was thinking about right and wrong. And so I was thinking about parents need to be more morally engaged with their children.
Okay.
About what is right and what is wrong.
That's the truth. Because it's worth.
It's not about
trillions.
It's not about which 100,000 religion are we? There's so many of them. You'll never hear me talk about religion. I'm saying we need to be more engaged with our children about what is right and what is wrong.
Well, and two, as parents, I think you have to be able to be a parent that understands that you're not always going to be right. And not always. I don't ever want my kids to feel like they can't have a conversation with me because I don't want to be wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not having this discussion because
they may be right about what you're talking about.
Absolutely, they may be right. And as parents, you have to, number one, when you're dealing with older children, you have to give them their space. You have to give them their platform. But they can be right and you can be wrong. I never want my kids to feel like they can't have a discussion with me because I feel like I'm going to be right. If you're right, and I'll tell you you're right. But if you're wrong, You're wrong, and I'm gonna say that too. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. And I think that in society now, you got too many parents wanting to be their kid's friend. I'm not your friend. I told my girls long ago, I'm not your friend. You ain't gotta like me. You're not gonna like the way I snatch you back from when you get ready to go over that cliff, but you'll thank me for being alive 5 years from now. You'll look back on this and say, yeah, Daddy, I was being a jerk, but guess what? You got me, you saved me. But it's sometimes a thankless job, especially for fathers, Some of you fathers out there, I know y'all don't get the credit and respect you deserve, but I'm going to give it to you because we are important. We are valuable. Believe that. And so when I address issues with my children, I say, hey, you know what? This is what it is. I'm sorry. I still listen. I still give them that ear. I still listen. I still hear them out. And I say, but you full of shit. But tell you what, go ahead on. We're going to get this out the way. We'll get past it. But it's important that you do that. And so therefore, once you build that rapport and that engagement with them, they know, don't come in here trying to run that on me because you already know, I already know better. So once you do that, you develop that and you establish that at a young age. Don't try to be your kid's friend. The worst thing that you can do as a parent is to give over your parental rights to your kids that you giving away everything because a friend wants to be liked. A friend don't have to do what another friend tells them to do. You see? So if you giving your power away because you want to be their friend, that's because you didn't do what you needed to do when they were younger so that they respect and do what you say now. You start when they're little. So when they're little, you establish that. You have no problems when they get older. Because you got these kids nowadays, they growing up being 3 times bigger than their parents. And what they doing? I don't want to do that, Dad. I don't want to do that, Mom. No. My mama would have choked the hell out of me.
Well, what was that?
It's a pencil. Don't it look like a pencil to y'all? It's a pencil. It's a pencil. You know, okay. I like
so
this.
So what they, I don't get it.
I'm saying with the kids be like on their mama and daddy head. And then you'll be reading about 16-year-old kid beats mom up.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? We not gonna have that. That's right. And that's because you trying to be their friend. Don't try to be their friend. Be a parent. Your job is to parent. Your job is not to be liked by them or be their friend. Your job is to be a parent and give them what they need to be successful. Take away any distractions or anything that would hinder that. And that's your job. So what? They don't like you. They might not like you now. They'll respect you now and they'll appreciate it later.
Happy early Father's Day to Huck.
I'm Huck, y'all, by the way.
Oh, they didn't know that.
They don't know who. Yeah, I'm Huck.
Huck. Yeah, he been Huck, man. He been Huck all my life. Hucky, actually. I ain't want to say Hucky.
You can say Hucky. Bad. They need to know. I'm hot as hell. I'm sweating like a stuffed Irish pig.
Yeah.
Man, it's that. I'm hot. I work out. I got 90-some%, 80-some% body fat. I got 1,000 watt. I got the sun in the corner jumping out on me. So yeah, I'm hot. Sorry. I work out. So yeah. But what's up? What you got? About care to elaborate about my friends not being your kid's parents, or parents' friend. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. Not being your kid's friend.
I don't know. Apparently that don't work because me and my father, we ain't on the hottest terms. I remember though when NWA came to St. Louis back in 1989. And it was crazy too because my old dude, he was a police officer.
He was 5'0".
So
I ain't even trust him.
It was even more crazy when he took me and my sister to the NWA concert and they started singing "F the Police."
Did he get mad?
He was up pumping it. He was up singing the song and I did like that I said.
Ain't you a police?
I did like that I said. What? What's going on? What's happening right now?
He was y'all friend.
hey, straight up, man. I didn't think no kid was cool as us though. I said,
all
man,
makes
look,
sense.
Y'all ain't got no old dude to take y'all to the NWA concert singing "F the Police" and they a police.
It all makes sense to me now. Mm-hmm. It all makes sense to me now. It all makes sense. I knew your daddy.
Apparently that ain't the.
I knew your daddy was
that
crooked.
Ain't the route.
I knew your daddy. I knew your daddy was crooked. No,
that probably ain't the best parent and
my uncle Stan was
methodology to be friends with their kids as opposed to being a parent.
I think that the older your kids get, I think if you do halfway decent job. I'm not gonna say I'll say Father's Day and Veterans Day are my favorite holidays because I feel like those are two things that I earned that nobody could ever take away from me, and I think I did a damn good job at both. But I just kind of feel like if you do a halfway decent job when your kids are young, I think you get a very, very different kid when they get older. I think you can do stuff like that when they get older because you know what I'm saying? You have a relationship that they understand, they respect your ways, you know them, you've brought them to where they are. I have a great relationship with 2 of the 5 currently. I mean, this is a long story. We won't get into that. But for the most part, kids and people have to be somewhat held accountable. You can't just let children do what they want to do, and you can't keep moving the goal line. You got to create boundaries. And even, like I said, there's no parent perfect. My mom and daddy weren't perfect. Your mom and daddy weren't perfect, but you do the best with what you got. There is no rule book to being a parent. There ain't a guideline. When they born, they don't come with a manual. When you leave the hospital with that car seat, they don't come with a book that say, now do this from these years, and when they get here, they are unpredictable little creatures. So you never know what you're going to get. So what I'm saying is you do the best with what you got. When you know better, you do better. And there's nothing like I have grandchildren. There is nothing in the world like witnessing your grandkids do shit to their mamas and daddies.
Did you just say shit?
I'm sorry, I said shit. I'm feeling myself. I'm getting a little smooth right now. I'm getting a little warmed up. But there's nothing like there's nothing like witnessing your grandkids do and put your kids in the same predicament and situation that they put you in, that they used to gripe at you about. You just sit and laugh.
So what my takeaway from what you just said was the operative word and all of that was better. Do better.
When you know better. When you know better. Yes. When you know better, you do better.
Better.
Yeah.
You got kids. It is your moral obligation to do better by them. Do better.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Listen, I'm my kid's biggest fan. I totally be better than me. That's my want for them.
Because I say that because life is a learning process. I mean, in defense of parents, you just took up parents all across the world when you said there's no manual.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, in that process of becoming a parent, because it's a new experience, you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
You're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's life. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna learn. But by all means, by the time you have kids, you got to do. You're morally obligated to do better, aren't you?
You ain't got a choice.
You can't repeat the same.
Well,
come on, man.
You should. Yeah, but there are, just like we talked before. Some people it takes a little bit longer. Some people late bloomers. You used to beat me up as a kid. You know what I'm saying? When we was babies, he used to beat me up. I secretly don't like him, but I do. I love him, but I don't like him because he beat me up when I'm playing. He did used to beat me up when we was kids, though. We was in the. I'm on one of the later episodes. I'm gonna bring proof. There's photos. There's photos of us. This is how long we've been a playpen, right? He got his pacifier in his mouth. I had mine. And all you see is about 5 pictures. And if you look at them in sequence like they do a comic thing, the 6 pictures look like this. We smiling, and then he coming at me, and the next thing you know, he got the pacifier in his mouth, mine out of my mouth in his hand, and the next thing you know, I'm in the thing crying, and he's standing over me with this look on his face. And then to make it worse, all my whole life, I had to hear all my aunties always remind me of how he used to beat me up when we was babies. So I'm saying things like there is no.
How does all of this relate to what we were talking about?
Because I'm saying things change. Like you used to beat me up, and now I could get you. That's all. That's all I'm saying. When you know better, you do better. There's no manuals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna get you though. Yeah.
Now y'all heard this, right?
It's true though. Yeah, but but is it not true? Is anything that I just said about the pacifier used to beat me up as a kid? Is that not
I don't
true?
know, but did y'all hear him say he gonna get me back?
When you know better, you do better. I know better now. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better than get beat up like I used to. I'm gonna do better than get beat up like I used to. It's not gonna happen. But anyway, that's a good. So far, I think we're doing pretty good. How you feel about our first podcast? I think we're a little rusty a little bit at the beginning, but I think we're bringing it.
It ain't no time to be rusty. We live and the.
We're not live.
No, we live, baby.
We record.
No, we
live.
We live.
We live right now. Oh man, there's people watching.
That's how you gotta look at it. That's how you gotta look at it because this is the show that people gonna see.
Oh, absolutely.
So we live, baby.
Yeah, we live. We live. We live,
bro.
but we live. We all the way live. We live, but we ain't all the way live. I think it's going pretty good. Let's see. Parents, kids, society. Did you play sports, Mac? Did you play any sports as a kid? I'm curious. What?
Briefly. I think I end up dropping out or something. But briefly,
dropping out of sports.
Well, yeah, because I was a wide receiver for a hot minute.
Really?
Yeah, at U City.
You played at U City?
Yeah.
You played for U City? Because that's like you like to stay in my school.
Now hold up.
That's what you like to say.
I'm a Normandy Viking. Now,
see, that's what I'm saying. So that's want to make sure. I want to
so
make that distinction.
I can't really remember. I can't really remember exactly what were the what were the circumstances. But for a minute, I went to U City, and then I played wide receiver.
The blasphemy, the treachery.
And then for some reason, it didn't last long though.
Yeah.
But I was good.
Yeah.
I was good.
I feel you. I understand. Like because and you went from U City to Normandy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what happened?
Yeah, I did 4 years in Normandy. I'm official.
Yeah, you didn't pass the test. That's why we shot you to Normandy. You got it. Take a special kind of person to be a Indian. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a U City Indian, loud and proud, baby, and that's a Normandy Viking. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Everybody from Normandy want to be at the U. You know what I'm saying? They said, hey, you ever seen that movie 300? You ever seen that? Mm-hmm. You know what they do with them babies that ain't perfect? Throw them off a cliff. So they threw your ass to Normandy. I'm playing, man.
Is this really our show?
Hey, listen, it's a rivalry. Listen, if anybody that don't know that's tuning in, U City Indians is now the Lions, and it's the Normandy Vikings. Their colors are green and red. Christmas, and our colors are black and gold. U City in the house. And we've had a rivalry for years. And they used to always talk about me when I would go to their house and say, him and his sister. His sister meaner than him. His sister is mean. She is just downright mean. And she would say, you coming, where you go? They U Shitty. You coming to U Shitty? Yeah, so they call U City U Shitty, but that's okay.
I want to for the record.
Stacey, I love you, but you.
I want the networks to understand that he's about 4 or 5 cuss words ahead of me, so I still got something to go now.
Oh shit! Damn.
Shitty, few times. Damn. I think I only said damn once. So
well, if you drop an F-bomb, you'll catch up.
He about 4 or 5 ahead of me, so I'm letting you know when I start dropping them.
We ain't got much longer.
I don't want to hear no Mac 80, you too gangster. Your rap persona. Maybe you need to curve it.
Hey,
I don't want to hear it when it comes from me now.
I'm just packaging it a certain way, man. It's okay if you package it a certain way. I make it look good. I say I package it differently. You know what I'm saying? It's the way I package it. Because you can say a certain word a whole lot of different ways. You can say damn in amazement, or you can say damn like you mad, or you can say damn like I didn't know damn. Like Chris Rock, damn. You know what I'm saying? Chris Tucker. You know what I'm saying? It's the way you package it. Just package it. Normandy Viking. Yeah. No, I like Normandy. I went to Normandy for like a whole 3 hours.
What are we doing right now?
We're talking about the podcast. We were just talking about growing up and this, that, and the other. I mean, this is the first show, so we talked about the school. I mean, the parents and the stands and the behavior and and so going forward, everybody that's out there tuning in, the objective and the goal as far as Truth Worth Trillions is to just basically have a time where my cousin and I potentially talk about up and coming events, things that have happened in the news, in the world, society, and we can potentially, hopefully, after I wipe the sweat off my face because I'm blazing in this inferno, we're going to talk about just current events and things that's going on in the world and how that relates, or if we can relate to it, or if it's relatable to some of our experiences that we've had in the past, and share those things with you. We will definitely have an arena or a vehicle for you to be able to get in touch with us to potentially share different things with us as far as a topic that you might want us to discuss. I'm pretty sure my cousin here has been all around the country. I've been all around the world in the country. So, you know what I'm saying? We potentially have somewhat of an insight on a lot of different things, a lot of different places. So we're just going to bring that to you. Whatever you have, feel free to contact us with the link or the telephone number below, or message us, and we'd be more than happy to get your insight and input on some things, and potentially use that as a discussion topic or a talking point for the show. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm under the.
Oh, let's talk about your intro. Would you like to talk about the intro? Let's talk to the people about your intro.
What intro?
The intro that we didn't hear, but they did. He not. That's you. You want?
I think they probably knew that.
No, they didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys didn't know Mr. Mac 80 is the founder and the artist that is performing or singing the intro to the show. That's him. He created that. That's his version and his music of what y'all heard. Would you care to elaborate?
No.
Okay. Well, fine. You hurt my feelings. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. I would. Let me say something. Let me have something to say about going to the gym all day long. All day long. All day long. I'm gonna do it.
I rock with my cuz though. He always got my back. 1GL to the end, baby. 1GL music.
And there ain't no gang sign. It's just how he do 1GL. I don't do the gang stuff. How do you think music? How do you think music impacts? Now, would that be? I'll put this maybe a two-part question, Mac. Since you do music, okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Being that you did the intro, being that, and it was pretty cool. I must say, I went with him and helped, and just kind of went to the studio and watched him. Man, it was dope. Like, I never seen nothing like that before in my life. I never been to a music studio before. I really hadn't, and he had his stuff laid out. He was organized. He had his beats ready. He knew they was talking the lingo. They was in there talking. I mean, go back in there and go back into the booth and stab that. And I was like, what? Somebody get stabbed? What? So like, he really good. Like, but he was talking the lingo. I was impressed. And my cousin, shout out to my cousin Eric Smith, who owns his own studio. So we got to go to my other cousin, all three of us cousins working together to create the intro that you heard. How do you think society impacts, or how is society impacted by music? How do you feel about that?
You always hear me talk about right or wrong.
My head glaring. It's sweaty.
Wow.
I should put my hat on.
What's happening, people? You always hear me talk about right or wrong. You know, I stay out of. I don't know what's going on.
I'm just hot. I was just
as much as y'all don't. But
my head was glaring. It was hitting the camera. The glare from my head, the lights was hitting it. So that's all. Go ahead.
You know, I stay away. I stay out of the arena of what's good and evil, and man, I don't. To me, those are judgmental words. To me. I mean, I know something could be probably blatantly good or evil, but what I'm saying is I think things are more right than wrong than they are anything. You got right or wrong. And my point is, you asked me about music.
Right. How does music impact our society?
I think that it's good and it's bad music. I think some music is timeless and it's classic because it was good music.
Right. I agree.
And that's the kind of music that I think people are talking about when they say music brings us together, you know.
Like We Are the World?
Shout out to the people that made bad music, but...
You're right. Listen, I'm going to tell you one thing about me and music. I can tell you a million different stories about my life, but the only way I can tell you where I was, what year I was there, is to music.
Yeah.
I can remember where I was when this CD came out. Remember I was when that CD... So that should tell you right there, if I'm going back to CDs... We stopped listening to CDs, what, how many years ago? Maybe 10 years ago? Maybe 10 years ago, CDs? But I'm talking about like back when I was in the military, I was in this station,
because
this country.
Not to cut you off, but
Sure.
what's the white lady name with the with the big breasts?
Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton. Like when
I know that.
Well, my point is, I mean, Dolly Parton, no, I'm serious though, her music, as well as...
I don't know none of the Dolly Parton songs. That step 9 to 5, I think. Working 9 to 5.
Dolly Parton was the one that made the
Whitney
song
Houston.
that Whitney Houston made. But I'm saying, man, good music just transcends.
What's your favorite type of music, Mac?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like when I start to think of the music that bring chills through my body are usually women. Like Whitney Houston and Patti LaBelle and, Shaka Khan, and it's usually women. But I mean, if I was to narrow it down, I guess it would be it would have to be just, I guess, soul music,
Soul music. What's considered soul music?
I don't know, man. I watched the documentary. I don't know if it was a documentary or it was a movie, but I watched Elvis Presley, man.
I saw that too as the movie, I think.
I want to say one thing right now.
Did you look at him differently after you saw that movie?
Man, I want to challenge what you call it said. What's his name?
Chuck D.
Chuck D said about
Elvis, the
yeah,
I remember that. I remember that verse.
I love Elvis. After watching that movie, now
there's a difference between a movie.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that movies can be kind of like not. People look at a movie that really knew the situation and be like, "What? That ain't what happened."
Right.
But I'm saying, based on that movie, if there's any validity to that movie and the real Elvis, then man, shout out to Elvis.
I think there's some truth to it.
I don't feel the same way Chuck D felt about Elvis.
I think there's some truth. I think there's a little bit of truth in a lot of things that we see. I don't think that in our society nowadays that people are just coming up with some of these theories. You know what I'm saying? Now you can go too far with some of it, but I don't think that they totally 100% wrong in some of the things that they say. So I believe that, like, you know what I mean? Like, they coming up with all these different movies about this, and they coming up with some of it. There's some truth to a lot of the things that I think we see. Whether it's 100% true or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't stick my nose in places that it don't belong. You know what I mean? I try to stay in my zone, stay in my lane, and let somebody drifting over into it, gotta push them back out. But, I saw that movie.
I know one of my lyrics and one of my songs is I say they having a hard time categorizing the genre of my flows. And I want to say that right now, since we're talking about music. A lot of times people ask me, "Where you from?" And I say, "St. Louis." And they say, "You don't really remind me of somebody from St. Louis." Now, in my mind, I'm saying to myself, that's because I've been so many places. Maybe that comes. I don't know. I don't come across like a typical St. Louiser.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying
I don't even know what a typical St. Louis is.
I'm universal.
I understand.
I'm a melting pot of people.
You didn't say over here, over there, or where, or bird. That's why they.
No, I probably do.
Yeah.
I think if I do say here, you probably gonna say, "Well, yeah, he is from St. Louis."
He was St. Louis.
If you judge off the here, he just said here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. What are we gonna talk about next week, sir? We got Thanksgiving coming up. It's about time for us to start wrapping this thing up, bringing it down a notch. But we just wanted to say, I'm gonna say, we want to thank you for tuning in. This is our first podcast. It's only gonna get better from here. I think next time I'll probably bring some sweat rags and some things to put on my neck to cool off, simply because maybe do a bill. I don't know, something going ding a ding ding. Something going ding a ding ding. But for the most part, thank you for tuning in. Mac, you want to add anything before I close this out?
No, man. Shout out to our audience, and we got a lot more coming at you. Believe that. Truth is worth trillions. Talk is cheap. Remember that.
Talk. You done? You ended?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, yeah, I thought it was done. I thought he pushed the button. Pow! But thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, this is our first go. It's only going to get better. We're going to add more to it. We're going to take a little bit of this and take a little bit, shift this, shift that, shake and groove. And we just really appreciate you tuning in. Good things left, good things to come. Mac, thank you for your participation, sir. It wouldn't have been a show without you. My hand is up and you're not fist bumping it back. He gonna see, that's why I'm going to beat him up. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Truth worth trillions, baby.
I'm just getting started, my body a worker, got you release some shit and it fly, ain't no redrop, no hero then, so who a hero now, me not, got zero friends, it's to the end, we ops, everything look good but ahead, peak
not. 7 times 7 is 49. Halfway to being unified.